You made the jump now from being a sheriff to now you're running for Congress.
Yes.
First of all, tell us why you're running, and you're known pretty much for bringing the fight to the illegal immigration problem. Tell us a little bit more.
We're known for enforcing all of the laws in my county. We're the #1 pass-through county for drug and human smuggling, Pinell County, in the entire country. And we're doing something about it. We're bringing a heavy hand of enforcement against the cartels who have these mature smuggling routes to the point they have lookouts on high points of terrain 70 miles north of the border. What has the federal government do to help us? In fact, they have sued our state, stopped us, handcuffed us and law enforcement from enforcing the law, and they have not helped us in fighting the cartels. We had a historic drug bust 3 months ago, a $2 to $3 billion bust against the Sinaloa cartel. Just in this one arrest, we had 76 individuals, 108 weapons. These aren't just handguns, these are scoped rifles, AK-47s. 2 of these weapons that were confiscated were from the failed Fast and Furious program, where our own government and the Department of Justice helped arm the cartels we're fighting. So when we're talking about enforcing all the laws, we're not against immigration, we're against illegal immigration. I've proudly served our country 20 years in the Army National Guard, been deployed in theater in Iraq for a tour, commanded 700 active duty soldiers in Yuma. As a combat engineer, I've helped build border fence. I know firsthand.
So it can be done. The border fence can be done.
Absolutely, it can be done. We see in California, we see in the Yuma sector where we have a 97% reduction in illegal entries and a reduction in drug smuggling there. Why? Because we built this double barrier fence. We enforced the law. There's consequences for breaking the law. We're not doing that across the border. So to have that firsthand experience and to serve as a member of Congress, instead of just talking about it or debating about it, I've actually been a sheriff fighting the cartels, enforcing the laws, and a commanding officer helping build border fence and stopping this illegal immigration and the drug smuggling. We should not get into this parsing of the law. Once we start to compromise the law and start to attack the rest of us in America who are patriots and saying we're not compassionate, how can we not allow these people to stay here after they've been here several years? And there's this great debate going on. Well, I enforce all the laws. In America, we don't, as Obama's just waving his royal hand, thinking that he can just say we're going to enforce some of the laws, or only if they're here and they've committed certain felonies. Well, wait a minute. These people have broken the law. They have defied and disrespected the rule of law. We have 4.5 million people waiting their turn in line, have respected the law, have applied for student or work visas or for citizenship. Everybody else has to do the same. And so I'm against not only amnesty, I'm against any parsing of the law, and we cannot be shouted down into that and saying somehow we're not good Americans. Well, we're the most generous nation on the face in the history of the world, and we need leaders who recognize that. We want people to follow and respect our laws, and if you want to become a citizen, you have to go through the same process.
So you disagree with Congressman Rivera's bill as far as offering a military component of the DREAM Act and giving them an option?
I disagree, and absolutely the congressman is wrong. That after the fact people have broke the law, we're saying now we're going to have a path to citizenship or a path to say you're now legal. Well, that's not okay. And this is where we have to cut through this. This isn't a racial, color, or a national origin issue. This is about the law. And if I can enforce the law on you as an American citizen, how on earth have we arrived at this point where we're not going to enforce the law on people who aren't even from our country, who have broken the law to begin with? And then we're told that we should provide a path for them because, oh my gosh, you know, we're heartless. Well, I'm tired of being called names and being shouted down.
The bill calls for, if you join the military, you're a DREAM Act baby, if you would, you can serve up to 6 years. You have to be honorably discharged. Now, once you get honorably discharged, then you become a U.S. citizen. But again, it opens up a can of worms. Who's to say they don't wash out before 6 years? Who's to say they get a general discharge? You know how this works. You can get a general discharge for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
One Article 15, even a slap on the wrist, and then what? Then you lose that opportunity. Now, don't you think it opens up the can of worms for lawsuits from the ACLU and other organizations?
It does. I'm being sued constantly by the ACLU to stop me from enforcing the law, from stopping us from enforcing Senate Bill 1070. We have to be very clear in the crafting of this law. if we're going to reward and respect and honor, appreciate our military veterans, if you're not a U.S. citizen and you're going to serve our country, whether in combat or on active duty, we're very clear that that term of enlistment, because you can only be enlisted up to E7, that you complete that, and it's honorable service. And then there's a reward at the end. So there's an incentive, which speaks to our free market. That's who we are as Americans, and it's the same freedom and expression of that not only we enjoy in our personal liberty and freedom, but our economic freedom and liberty. And that's the other issue that we're talking about.